Okay, hey there guys. So in this war, we're up against XK-9. They've had a start to the season. So they're what spot were they in? They were definitely top 5. I can't remember the exact spot they were in. A little bit of controversy around the spot they were in is something you could say, but let's get right into these fights. So Doom, White Mags, Nick Fury. It's been a while since I've had Nick Fury on my team, but he's so safe in war because you have the boosts, and then you obviously have his second life. So I put on the regen boost here because I'm a bit low on some of the other ones, and it's spiked armor, so I was like, hey, I'll just put on the regen boost and I'll counteract it just to play it extra safe. If I get hit by a special, at worst I go into my second life. It was kind of just my thinking. So yeah, this fight's literally already almost over. I just wanted to try to avoid dexing, and I did not want to hit into her miss to trigger to like try to get her shield to fall off or anything like that. So I just had to wait it out at the start, and then it was a 30-second fight, and that was without being in your real Nick phase. That was a super fast, super easy fight. So Tigra here is on its aggression prowess, and the new node there is the critical setup. One of the cooler placements I've seen here was in off-season. Someone put a Maw there because of critical setup. And as I said the last time I fought Tigra, and then someone commented it, yeah, it's the blue sense, so I was just double checking that. So if she throws her SP1 and she has a blue sense, I'm going to try to wait out to throw my SP1 if I can, so that way I don't get ruptured. I actually saw someone in my alliance, they had a Tigra fight as well in their war, for their fights. And their fight went a little bit downhill. They sold it as well because they're a good player, but they had some issues as well. Right here, I was having some connection issues, I guess, and the game was deciding to be very weird, and it was scaring me because at this point, there was already a DC death. Within the first couple hours, there was already a DC death. The connection issues were really bad yesterday. So right here, again, I just have to try to not dex because the global is still up, and I don't want to throw specials into her blue phase. That's pretty much all there is to this fight, because with Doom I can control her power pretty easily, so I don't really have to worry about her SP2 or evading it. Right, I use my SP1, I get back up to SP2 pretty much, and yeah, just hitting in, trying to power steal up. I'm going to use the heavy there right before the SP3, so that way she has enough power for me to Doom cycle. Bring her up. Yeah, this fight, again, it's going pretty smooth, still at 100% health, partially because of the regen boost, just keeping me topped up from chip damage. It's still even going. Again, I'm not sure what it is, but when I've been swiping in to go in after Doom's SP3 to punish the stun, it's been like throwing a light instead of throwing a medium, and it's kind of making the combo weird, but it doesn't do it every time, and I've been trying to figure out why. I'm not sure if maybe it's like I'm sliding too early so it half registers as a light or something. I'm not sure. Here's one of the fights I brought White Magneto for. He was actually originally for 3 of my fights, but then I ended up giving it to the Mordo on Mixmaster, and then someone gave it to me on a mini-boss instead later down the road for this fight. So right, this has the Path 5 node for knockdown. It also has right back at it, which is why I want the White Magneto so I can stun him. And it also has aggression prowess, which is important for this node because Nova's specials can sometimes like just tag you at the end, and you don't really want to get hit if he has a ton of prowess. And if he throws any light into me, I'll be able to parry him. Right here, I'm just going to be going for the SP1. It gives him his charges, so it gives him a couple buffs, so I can nullify those. I just want to keep his buffs off, so that way he has low charges, so I can't really get auto-blocked. But again, I kind of have to like go work around a couple things, like his SP2, his auto-block, and all of that stuff. So it's right here, something goes down. So he's at 2 prowess, and I get the double parry, but for some reason, my game starts to throw a heavy. I can't remember if I was trying to throw a heavy intentionally. I don't think I was, because that's a really weird place to throw a heavy. And then he comes in and he hits me, and I'm pressing my SP3 button right as I start seeing the combo on me. I'm just like, SP3, 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 and it doesn't let me throw it. I get like hit, then he hits me with his SP3, and because of those prowess, right, he got up to like 3 or 4. it does a lot of damage. I was like, please don't die like that. When I decided to not put on an invul, because, well, I'm Doom. Why am I going to get SP3'd? Fortunately, I didn't die, and I'm back up to 50% health because of adrenaline, and he doesn't have power, so I can't really Doom Cycle him, but you don't really want to Doom Cycle a Nova, so I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to kill him. Fortunately, the fight ended up going very well, but it could have been risky. So yeah, I put my second White Magneto on the Mixmaster Mordo. I'm pretty sure it was a Mordo. That's what I remember it being. I was really busy the past couple days, so that's why late upload, and so I kind of forgot the White Magneto pre-fight placement. So now I'm heading on to Path 5. So the reason I decided to put the invul is mainly for the Chavez, but it's also going to work for the Rhino here, because Rhino, he's not... I don't have any issues fighting Rhino, if that makes sense. But his unblockable hit sometimes just, like, I react to it too late, or I'm focusing on, like, trying to get a reparry or something off, and he comes in with the unblockable, and I don't see it until too late, and I get hit. So I'm like, okay, I'll put on the invul for the first fight as well, because I knew it wouldn't last me for Chavez into the next fight. So at this point, the global is down, so I have 3 fights here. I'm taking the Mojo at the end here. So Rhino has been a very, very common placement on Path 5 ever since pretty much the new map became what it is with Ebb and Flow Intercept, because, well, he's a little bit annoying to intercept because of Unstoppable, but there's a couple ways around it. So first off, using just a super high damage champion, with Doom here, I could actually probably take the fight without going for any single intercept, but especially with Doom, there's actually a second option. Well, okay, there's also Slow. If you have Slow, that works too, but sometimes people would put him on Mighty Charge. I always find it weird that Rhino actually has a Fury buff, so you get Mystic Dispersion on this fight, which is pretty nice. Feeds my power a lot right there. I get my SP3 there because of Mystic Dispersion, honestly. So right here, I'm able to get off my second SP3, which most war fights with boosts in Doom, you can't really get there, even with an R3, especially not an R4. But because of his high physical resistance, actually wait, you have energy damage, never mind. Because of his just high resist in general and all of that, but it's right here. I get clipped by the SP1. I wanted to slow it down so I could show it a bit better. Right when he dashes in, because your special's unblockable, it's very safe to do. Even if you mess it up, it's just going to break his block, but if he is dashing in at the start for that first beam, it counts as an intercept, so it gives you the Fury, and it just allows you to nuke him down. You can do that with pretty much any unblockable special, but Doom's is probably the safest because it's a giant beam and it goes across the map. Let's say like Ghost with an unblockable special, he could always dash back, but with Doom, he can't really dex out of it. So here's the second fight I needed my White Magneto pre-fight for, because she has Mighty Charge, and you don't want Chavez to be throwing heavies, because then she'll start getting her stances, and it can mess up a lot of things you're trying to do. And an invul for any Mystic Champion is always a solid idea, so that's why I put on the invulnerability here. And I have that to counter the Mighty Charge, so I can really parry freely in this fight. This fight's pretty basic. It should be even easier than the Rhino fight, because I can intercept normally, or I can do whatever I want in this fight, pretty much. I have an extra 15% attack. Wait, no, that's for heroes, isn't it? Never mind. So I get the intercept there, and I just want to try to get her a bit more power, and I'm going to go for my SP3. Missed the 20% bonus, but I still got the 12. She's already at 67% health. This, I'm guessing, should bring her down to, like, high 40s, is my guess. Yeah, 45. So, like 30,000, 33,000 damage. Pretty solid SP3 right there, so I'm just going to... Because she doesn't have any stances, I'm okay with letting her throw her SP2. When it's unblockable, it's a little bit of a pain, in my opinion. But I'm just going to get the intercept really quick on the backdraft, and SP3 takes her down very, very quick. So here's the reason why I knew I couldn't take the boost, probably, or why it'd be risky to take the boost from Chavez into Mojo. If the Chavez fight went slow, it'd be a big issue as well. I needed to drop and then put on Dex, and while I'm doing my masteries, I'm going to get another connection issue on Stupefy. Oh, I'm really dumb. I don't even need Stupefy for this. The passive stun is already pretty much as long as it's going to get. This is on 3 times speed, by the way, so it's going pretty quick. And I'm trying to decide like what masteries I wanted to fill out with my extra points. I didn't want to have to undo other trees if I could avoid it. And I'm trying to decide what boost to use. I decide, in my opinion, the invul isn't the best actually against a Mojo, because if you get hit by his SP3 or even his SP2, the damage isn't really from the basic hits, it's from the degen, which the invul won't stop. So I'm just like, I'll just go for a regen so I can block a ton right at the start. He gets hold block, good prompt for me. All I just want is Mojo to have a slightly aggressive AI where he'll cooperate. That's all I want. After that one Mojo fight, I hate passive Mojo AIs, or just AIs that are bad with Mojo. He's a very RNG fight ever since the start. So I'm able to get my Fury. I see the use special attack prompt. I'm thinking, do I want to actually throw this, or do I want to wait? I'm like, he's at just under 2 bars of power. I should just go for this, because he'll throw his special. He would throw his special, and the same thing would happen. But this way, I'm the one with the tempo in the fight. I'm the one with the damage. I'm the one taking control, right? So he throws his SP1, which I honestly didn't want. I wanted him to be able to... I wanted to be able to do a second full Doom cycle to get up to SP2, but I have a plan for how to get back up to SP2. There's actually a much better way that you can do it as well, but against Mojo it doesn't really work, because Mojo has that where it's a really weird screen distancing, right? It's usually supposed to put you right on top of them, but for Mojo, for some reason, it puts you at the far back. So I just have to make sure he's not at SP2, and I'm just going to go light combos up until SP2, throw that into him. It does a fair chunk of his health. I hit his block so that way he can't shrug off the incinerates, and that's the Mojo fight. And considering all those fights could take a pretty long time, I don't think it was bad. Like, all those fights were under 1.5 minutes, which is very, very good in my opinion. Because against XK-9, we know we have to be quick, and we beat them by over 1,000 seconds. So, couple things to go over here. So first off, they played very well. 6 deaths, obviously. They had 2 DCs or something. I think it was 2 DCs. But they also had... This kept on happening. I just kept on seeing these screenshots that they kept on having defenders, or they kept on having their attackers finish fights at like 1% health. It was the craziest thing. They'd had like 5 fights like that. So 2, XK-9 is a very good alliance. We knew going into it we'd have to play very well, why we only had 1 death. And that death was a DC, so it was really 150 and 0, which I'm very, very proud of us for. Secondly, XK-9 has beaten us in the past. They're one of the last alliances to have beaten us. That was seasons ago at this point, like months and months ago. And it was on time. They're known for being a fast alliance, so going into it we knew we had to be fast. And we were. We had a very good time. 8.4 is incredibly fast, to be honest, for Masters. And thirdly, I'm not going to go on this too long. As I said, XK-9 is a fairly good alliance, but right before this war happened, there was actually a bunch of drama and a couple war chats going on about shelling. If you don't know what shelling is, it's just an alliance will have multiple alliances that they like switch to between seasons, and they bring down the war ratings that way they can play against lower level alliances, and then the second half they have to face higher alliances. And there was a lot of drama about that because XK-9 is one of the alliances that does it, and so there was a lot of smack talk in those groups. And it felt good to beat them because, yeah, there was a bunch of smack talk going on between us. It's all good fun, the smack talk, I think, for the most part. Yeah, they're a good alliance. So, yeah, GG's to XK-9. Hope to see you guys soon. Sorry for the delay on this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, though. Bye.